works. And so now I want to get to a point to where we reaffirm your why. In other words, I want to find out, is your why still intact? In other words, are you still excited about what you made a decision about already this year? Okay. Of course, a little housekeeping. Take some notes, definitely tonight. Matter of fact, I want you to grab a pen and paper if you can. If you don't have it, because I'm going to be asking you some questions tonight that I really want you to answer. I want to find out where you are at. I think there's a few of you I kind of want to put on the spot a little bit. So if you'll allow me a little leeway, I want to really work through some stuff tonight and kind of do a group exercise too. So we're going to do a group exercise here in a moment. Camera on as possible, if you guys can. I'd love to see your beautiful face. If your wig is twisted, maybe turn it the other way. Make sure you use the chat. Definitely want you to get in the chat. Is there anything I say that resonates? Please chat it up, and that way we can know. And only unmute when you're called upon. That way we can make sure we can keep the discussion flowing, okay? Without distractions. We kind of dealt with a few of you guys with this week's wins. So right now, a few of you have a few wins I was checking in with. Anybody else have a win that they want to talk about? Something real quick that you say, you know what, it was a win. I know Delshana talked about her books, which is awesome. Her virtual, which is even better. You know, she did some more posting after I slapped her around a little bit last week. I'm excited about that. Any other wins? All right. Well, that's okay. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Sharia, what you got?
Well, I received a donation from my grand sheik, my Moorish grand sheik, for my equipment, for my pedicure chair. So I thought that was a blessing because I've been working hard. Nobody gave me nothing. So I really received that blessing towards my equipment.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Now you can't say nobody don't give you nothing. Now look at that. Lord is providing. He's working things out. That is amazing. Any contribution, I know for me, when I first started my business, it was super important when I got my first investor, no matter how big, small, and it's just that letting you know that you're not alone. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And also it means that somebody's noticing that you're doing something and moving in the right direction, which I love. That is amazing. All right, let's jump into it. So right now, the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. A lot of times we're living or just living. I was talking with someone today who's in the hospital with COVID, and he made a decision. He said, you know what, I'm not gonna sit around and get ready to die. I'm not gonna stay chopped up in the house. I'm gonna get out and do something. And I think it's important because your why will get you up. Your why will get you out the house. Your why will get you out the bed. Your why will get you out of depression. I mean, your why literally, depending on how strong it is, it will push you, catapult you into where you really want to go. A lot of times our why, I believe, isn't big enough. And that's why we can't seem to make it be impactful enough to actually do what we say we're going to do. Okay. Now, on tonight, I really want to reaffirm your why. I want to pretty much confirm what you already said you was going to do. In other words, you've established some things that you said you wanted to do this year. And I want to stay on that. You know, I'm going to definitely admonish all of you. You should be reading your goals in the morning, and you're also reading your goals at night. You should be trying to keep that thing in front of you. If you can, put it on your bathroom mirror, or put it somewhere that's visible that as soon as you walk out or wake up, you see it. Because the more and more you see it, like I said, we're all gonna get unfocused at certain points because life is gonna happen. I mean, things are gonna come at you. It's just a part of the process. I think the hardest thing is really realizing that it really is just a part of the process. You know, you cannot think that things are just going to work exactly the way you want them to. I know in my life, things are a little crazy right now, but however, we still make sure we stay the course and what we said we was going to do. Matter of fact, the other day, just a great example, I was tired and didn't get a chance to work out that morning. And some of you might have saw my post that I put on there that I couldn't lie to myself. In other words, I couldn't tell myself I was going to do something and not do it. Some of you, your why has to be, because I want to be a person of integrity. I want to be a person that says, I'm going to do something and I'm going to do it. I don't know what it is about me, but, and some of you can relate to this, but I want to be known as someone of integrity. I want to be someone where people will say when they talk about you, you know, when people are going to talk about you anyway, but when people talk about you, somebody can say, no, that ain't the way they roll. I want that to be so to the point to where
You don't even have to question when somebody comes to you and said, oh, Ron Williams owes you money. You'd be like, no, RW, I know he don't owe you no money. And so it'll be to where now you get to where you almost get something in you that when other people can talk about it, you've been so consistent in it that when they come with it, the other people are like, ain't nobody tripping, you know? And it makes a big difference, guys. It really does. Now, as we reaffirm our why, the question I want you to write down, all of you that are with me, is what is your why? Let's reaffirm it. What is your why? I'm gonna give you like 2-3 minutes, or what, maybe that 1 minute. I want you to write down your why, write it down, whatever it is. This is my why. Whether it be your children, grandchildren, matter of fact, do me a favor and write down at least a minimum of 3 people who, because of your why, will be blessed. So 3 people, because of your why, whatever your why would be, you know, I'm doing this because, this is what I'm looking to accomplish. I want to set this, like for me personally, I want to build a legacy. I'm no longer about just me. I'm now about my legacy. I want to know that I'm not just here on earth. I die, we eat some collard greens and some Jiffy cornbread and say that was a good dude. I don't want that. I want a legacy. I want my name to live beyond me to where people know that I've made a difference or an impact on the world. Nothing worse than being on this earth and not leaving an impact or an input or a footprint or something. I know we are good at telling people, oh, when people die, oh, you know, they lived a good life. We'd be lying. Think about the last time somebody died and you had to lie about, oh yeah, they lived a full life. They was alcoholic, they was a drunk, they didn't accomplish anything except pretty much nothing. But now when people are dead, we can't speak bad about the dead. You know, that's never a good thing. But I don't want to be that guy that the preacher got to get up there and lie about. Well, you know, he did all that. He ain't do nothing. Only thing he did was live, eat, sleep, poop, and die. That was it. And if we looked at what was developed over the lifetime of that person, it was nothing of any significance. I don't know about you, but I want to be someone of significance. I want to be somebody of significance. And that's why I believe you're on these Zooms with me, is you don't just want to have a normal run-of-the-mill life. If you wanted that, then you would be with somebody else who's allowing you to just stay comfortable. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to let you be comfortable. I promise you, I will always challenge you, push you, prod you, and ask you and remind you of that what you've told me. Remember, everything that we went through in our sessions, I wrote down. And I'm going to bring those back to you and say, hey, how you doing with this? How you doing with that? How you doing? In other words, now the accountability kicks in. So real quick, I want to do a group exercise. And I'm going to pick out somebody, Anissa. Unmute yourself. And I want the group to play along with me on this. And do me a favor, those of you that are bold enough, in the chat, put your why. Put your 3 people, or your 3 people that this is why I'm doing whatever it is you're doing. It doesn't matter, because remember, your thing is your thing. I don't want anyone to feel like their thing isn't. I was talking to a guy that was an Uber driver today, and he was driving Uber, but he was like, oh man, well, you know, I said, look, man, my daddy told me if you be a ditch digger, be the best doggone ditch digger that's out there. So it doesn't matter what you do. It's what you believe you're supposed to be doing at that moment. Okay? So do me a favor, write that in the chat real quick. I need to see it. I need three people that are affected or will be affected because of you completing. And notice I said completing. So if you complete your why, your thing that you're planning on doing, they're now your why for completing it. Okay, some of you, I'm sure it's gonna be children. It's gonna be your Grammy them, your uncle them, your cousin them, your moo them, all them. Whoever it is, put them down, okay? And I want you to name them. I'm doing this for my grandma. Put grandma's name. I'm doing this for my kids. Put down all your kids' names, okay? In other words, I want to see exactly why you're putting yourself through this torture almost of being an entrepreneur or being someone that's going to build something that's bigger than you. Okay. Now, with that being done, now I want you to put down, if you don't do it, who's going to be injured? How are they going to be injured? In other words, if you don't accomplish what you said you were going to do, who is going to be affected? Like for me personally, if I don't do what I said I'm going to do, I'm concerned about certain people that they might not be able to do certain things because I'm not doing what I need to be doing. And I'm not trying to put myself or you on a pedestal and say, well, if you don't do it, then they're going to suffer. I'm not trying to say that, but you know what I'm trying to say in the aspect of who's going to be damaged because you don't do it. Who's going to be the one that now, because you didn't do it, they can't go to college? Because you didn't do what you said you was going to do, they can't buy their first car. They can't get their first home. What is that thing that if you don't do it, if you don't do it, then it doesn't get done? All right, Anissa, I'm coming to you. Tell me your why. Go ahead and unmute yourself so I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
My why is doing this for my grandchildren. I have 3 grandkids that are really in need of help. So I'm trying to do what I'm doing to make sure that I can upbring my legacy, so that they'll be able to carry on in my footsteps.
Okay. Now, why is this so important to you?
Well, the one thing now is that my grandkids look up to me. So they see me working hard. They see the things that I do. And every day I'm on Messenger with them, making sure that they're getting their homework done and the things that they need to do. So with that being said, with the things that I'm doing, I'm trying to prepare them to make sure that they're doing what they need to do, as far as a job for them is doing their homework, their education. That's their job.
Okay. And so now what you're doing, that means that now if you don't do this, then what would happen to them?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that I do it.
If you didn't, what would happen?
I think they'll look down on me in a sense, because they already pretty much know what their grandma is trying to do. So pretty much, and they always ask me as well. So I try and talk to them to make sure, because I'm doing this, so you need to be able to do this. So I think, and by them being, they're still young, but still in general, I think that they're just looking forward to me doing what I need to do.
Now, when you say that, does that mean that somewhere in your past, someone's let you down and you don't want to let them down?
Yes, most definitely.
So how have you been let down that makes this more important to you?
Well, with looking back on being let down, that was just a hurtful situation in general. And that's a feeling that I wouldn't want to feel again. So even with that being said, with the grandkids, I wouldn't want them to feel that way when I continuously tell them the things that I want and the things that I'm going to accomplish. So that's something that they're looking forward to seeing and doing as well. So
in other words, you're stopping them from hopefully not going through the same pain that you went through.
Most definitely.
And so now if you don't do this, then now it's almost like they lose a little something. And maybe it could not make them do what they could be doing because you stopped doing what you should be doing.
Correct.
Imagine 10 years out from now, how old will your youngest grandchild be?
20.
20. So at 20 years old, if you didn't do what you're supposed to do, your grandkid could be out in the streets doing whatever they think they can do, only because they looked at Granny tell them some lies about what she was gonna do, and she never did it. What if that happened? How would that make you feel?
Be very painful. Very painful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you said before, then your why then now is big enough to where if you can see the pain of a cause, if you don't do what you said you was going to do, it's something now that you have to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it then.
Correct.
So you have no choice, is what you're saying, sounds like.
None whatsoever, because they look upon me, the things that I'm telling them to do, that, you know, when I talk to them, make sure that you're doing your work. They'll read to me over the phone, or, you know, they're reading to me. So the things that I'm trying to do, I'm trying to succeed. So I want to be able to push them the same way.
All right, I like that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing them tonight. Delshana, I need to know why. I need to know why. Why are you doing what you're trying to do?
Ultimately,
Who's depending on you? Who's depending on you?
I believe my family's depending on me, but I also believe that my kingdom family's depending on me as well. There are things I bring to the table and bring in the room that they've not experienced before or had before. So there's an expectation when I show up or when I connect with people in the Christian world and in the kingdom. And so my family, I believe, depends on me because I'm the one, I'm the chosen one. I'm the one that carries. I'm like a sponge, so I go suck up the information and I bring it back so they can have what they need to live better, be better, grow better, etc. And so when I look at my why, of course, it's to leave a legacy. Otherwise, why would I even bother writing the books and stuff, right? But not just to leave a legacy, but to leave a legacy worth talking about. That there's a story and a message that's worth continuing on. The other thing I wrote down was to be a living epistle, right? To not just to be someone that's worth talking about, but that has made the type of impact or the level of impact that other people want to have, and therefore they follow those footprints or that roadmap or that model. But the third thing was to establish multi-generational wealth, to build and establish multi-generational wealth in a way that pulls and creates integrity, creativity, health, discipline, and intellect in the next generations to sustain wealth multi-generationally. So that is always ongoing and continuous, and that we've got that thing, that motivation, that desire, that thing that always keeps us striving or in that place to continue it. So it's not like I do it, I die, it goes away. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Okay. Now, with all that you just said, what's it going to cost you to stay the course in the midst of everything that life is going to throw at you?
It cost me my life. It cost me sleep. Hello. It cost me money, energy. It cost me what I want to say, veg time. So like we got a TV situation in our house. I don't know how to work it. I can't turn it on or off, can't change the channels. But I don't watch TV because I'm working on pushing us to places and in rooms that our ancestors didn't have access to, or that my parents weren't able to even realize it could happen. So it cost me some of that wasted time, I guess I would say. I don't know.
Okay. So now why is that is so important to you? What is making you click on this to say, I need to do this? Who put this in you, or what happened to you that's making you go in this direction? Have you seen what you're trying to do done before?
Yes, I've seen it done before. I've heard it done before, and I've received revelation of it being possible for me as well. And whether that's through the Bible studies and the studying of the word, unctioning of the Holy Spirit, really understanding that for me, Jesus cannot not just have life, because what I'm living right now is life, but that I have it more abundantly. And when I look around me and look at the people I'm connected to and hear other people's testimonies, if they can get one God idea and activate it and jump on it and put action behind it, and in less than 12 months, God makes them a millionaire, why am I sitting on anything less than $1 million? And so not that I'm after the money, but I'm after the response. He responds to his people. But if we don't believe and don't have faith, or don't think it's for us, or if we're playing it small, then we miss some of those great moments that we can experience. It's on the inside of me to have always want more, be more, go bigger, go badder, go greater. Every time, like my parents even give stories, where this was never enough.
Okay. Now, what do you have to become to do this? Because obviously you're not there. So that means you have to become something. What are the things that you now have to do, that you have to change to make this happen?
I think I have to become a good knower. Let me say that better. A person who embraces the word no and balance the giving part of who I am with strategy, with the strategies. Because with the strategy comes priorities, comes timing, comes placement, all the rest of that. I think I also have to become open to the world that I would have traditionally distrusted, and sit down with people and have conversations with people and trust what I have on the inside of me to know if the partnership is worth it or not.
Okay. Now, up until this point, do you believe there's some lies you've told yourself, that you've told yourself you would do certain things and you haven't done it?
100%.
Why is that?
Why are there lies I've told myself? Part of it, I think, is because it comes from my childhood, my background, being African American, believing that if you try harder, then people won't help you. You'll be on your own. You won't know what you do and what you're doing, and you'll fail. But the other part of the lies that I told myself is that it couldn't happen for me. I wasn't worth it. That even though God loved me, he wasn't going to do that for me because I wasn't worthy enough. And I believe that I had to work for something that he already gave me.
Now, why at this point in your life have you made this decision to shift to become this? Who will be damaged if you don't do it? And what does life look like?
The greatest person that'll be damaged if I don't do it is me, because I know what I see and what I feel and what I'm pulling into. Of course, my family, my husband, my children, grandchildren, all those folks will be damaged as well, because everyone knows there's something different about Delshana. But they can't describe it. They can't put a finger. There's always something different. I need to live up to my difference. You asked another question.
Sure. Well, right now, last thing, let's fast forward 10 years into the future. If you don't accomplish what you are talking about right now, what could it look like for your family?
They could be taking care of me instead of having other people take care of us. And what I mean by that is my health would suffer. If I don't make these transitions just in my health alone, I'm gonna have some health issues. That's gonna be a struggle. If I don't follow through on these financial plans that I have, then we're gonna have some financial struggles that are gonna be very real for us.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Talk about the hot seat. Oh my gosh.
I want you to go deep. I know I'm digging, guys, but the reason I'm digging is because there's something within your why that has to shift in your mind that now it doesn't become no longer a want to. Some of you right now, it's a want to, is still not a strong enough why. Why do I want to, why is that got to help? Why is it got to happen? Why is it, there's no, in other words, success is my duty. Me taking care of my family is my duty. There's no, to me, failure is not even an option. Not doing what I'm supposed to do is not an option. Lisa, thank you, Delshana, for sharing. Lisa, let me come at you. I know you got grandbaby with you. That's all right. That's all right. I got you. I'm glad you're on tonight. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Delshana. So Lisa, what's going on?
Hey, all this right here is what's going on. All of this right here.
Good.
I'm happy to be here. And shoot, what?
Well, I guess my question is, what is your why?
Oh goodness, my why in particular for my wedding event planning business is because exposure. I've had a lot of exposure in my community, within community. And time again, I have talked to women younger, my age, or what have you, and they all have the same story about, I would get married, but people usually have that excuse of it costs too much, or having the wedding I want to have costs too much and he don't want to do it because we don't have that kind of money, or it's not important to be married, all that kind of stuff. All too often I hear that. And to me, I want to foster family. It is so important. It is very important to foster it and have the whys about why, and know the whys about why you need to get married, and to let people know that you can have a nice wedding without spending a whole lot of money, especially nowadays. So more so, my whys is so that my family can have something that they can look at and say, oh, well, my mom was an entrepreneur. Kentucky Fried Chicken Man, KFC, he had a recipe, okay? And he left a legacy through eating. You can have a simple something, and the fact that he took it into business, he changed his family's life with a sandwich. So my why is, it could be something as simple as fostering families through a wedding. And I would like to help everybody understand these things are important and they can be done beautifully. So supporting my family and getting the idea out there that we can do, and that family is important. That's my why. Well,
good. So now what excuses have you told yourself to this point that now has not allowed you to do what you're saying right now?
What are the excuses that allow me to get to this point?
What excuses have now gotten you to where you have not accomplished this thing we're talking about?
Instability. I can't do it because I will be here 1 minute, I'm in another state the next minute. I needed to go, other things was more important. The excuses of, I don't have the time, I don't know what to do. The excuse of, they're not gonna listen to me, or maybe it's just me, the whole excuse of, it's too much work. I'm not really that detail oriented. Nobody's gonna copy my style, or anything like that. I had a billion of them to tell myself. And one of the biggest ones, I used to always say, if I could just hold still, if I could just stay still and be stable, I could build this, build this building. But I was always moving around. So that was tough for me, but I don't have that excuse.
Okay, so what's changed now that makes this to where it has to happen? What's changed?
Oh my goodness. Now is, I realize in order to do this. It's not going to go away. I love weddings. I love the idea of promoting family. It didn't fade. So if the dream didn't fade and I still want to do this, the thing now is I realize that I'm not doing it by myself. You know, the doors have been open. God made a way for me to get the knowledge that I need to do it. One of my wins I had this week was I happened to take one of the classes to help me get the know-how. I will soon have my AEC certification for event planning. And these are things that I would look at and say, oh, I don't have the money for, and actually find ways to get that done where it's not coming out of my pocket. So I have seen more doors open recently than I ever have since I ever wanted to do this. So that is more, it's putting me more and more fire underneath that I can do this, and it's going to be done because the time is right. And I know that now.
Perfect. Sounds like your why is getting stronger, which is good. Now let's transport 10 years into the future. What happens if you don't do this? Who loses? Who suffers because you don't do this?
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Who loses? My inner community. Those young ladies that I talk to that say, okay, it's acceptable to just go on and not get married because the wedding I want, I can't afford right now. Even my daughters, understanding that work looked like one thing, but entrepreneurship looked like something else, you know, and I'd rather work on something a small idea and turn that into something mega than to do a whole bunch of hours for somebody else and don't have nothing for you to show for it, you know, and working for yourself. That whole thing for my family to have that exercise in front of them so that they can see for themselves and know what it's like to be able to put your name on the bottom line and have things move for you. Hey, without that, without them seeing it, they won't know. They'll just have somebody else tell them, but they can see it for themselves through me being the number one example. That's what I want for them.
Okay, so in other words, you're going to lead the pack. And now in order to do that, you have to do what you said you was going to do.
Yes, sir. Gotta walk it like we talk it.
Okay. Yeah. So at this point, if you don't do it, it could make you a liar.
A big one. Yeah. Yes. But if you do it, it make you give them something that they can talk about and hold their head up about.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing, Lisa. I appreciate this. I know you guys, you're like, man, I don't want to do it. I'm not next. I don't want to do it. Well, here's why. Because really, your first why you give me is a phony why. Your second why gets a little deeper. Your third why gets a little bit more deeper. And there's a thing that I've been reading on, it talks about it takes at least 7 times of you asking yourself why to get to the real root of what you want to do this for. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'll know all the right things to say, all the right things to do. But the key is, and you guys know this is results driven, if all those things are what you say you're going to do, then what changes now that makes you actually do it? Because up until this point, you've been lying. I won't do it. And then you tell yourself another lie, I'm working towards it. I'm working towards it. And really, if you ask yourself, how consistently have you been over the last year? With COVID, everything else happening, you've been talking about this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. So now the good news is you're closer today than you've ever been before. But I don't want you ever to get so complacent that you have some movement that you forget that it ain't where you want to be. I had one of my mentors kind of say to me, and to be honest, it made me so mad because he came to me and I had gotten complacent and I was making good money still. And it's like, well, what do you make? And I said, oh, I make da-da-da. And the question came back, I was like, how do you live off of that? I live off of that. And I kind of got an attitude and got upset about it because like, how dare you say that, here I am out here grinding, struggling, blah, 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 blah. But then the next question or part of it came, compared to what you know you should be doing. That is the kicker, guys. If we keep talking about what we're going to do, then we're not going to actually get to what we should be already doing. And some of you good news is at this point, I'm so grateful because I see you moving. That's why I get excited about hearing the wins and hearing the moment, because now you're seeing that momentum go, okay? But that why, I want it to be so strong that why will get you out the bed, make you run, hit the ground, start, you know when your why is really strong? Is when you sick as a dog and you still get up and do, when you, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I gotta do it. That's when you know you got a strong enough why. That if your why is, well, when you get up, you don't, oh, I feel a low migraine. Oh, I feel a headache. Oh, I just can't go. I can't do it today. I don't know if your why is strong enough. Not that we don't get sick. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying at some point, you have to find out how tied to my why am I? You know, how tied am I to the point to where if I don't do this, who is damaged? I mean, who's going to see something or not see something? And you've heard my story before, guys. My kids, you know, my kids used to glamorize rap stars, and they see them riding with Mercedes and doing all this. And I was like, forget that. You can do that and serve God.
Right.
And so I wanted to be an example that it can be done. And so hence my why was, I wanted my kids to see something different and see someone different doing what they thought only certain people could do. Germanese. What's happening? I'm almost there, guys. This is a group exercise. We grouping it today. We grouping it. All right, all right, all right. Why, Germanese? You got this wonderful healthcare business.
My phone keeps moving.
I'm gonna bust you out right now, because right now it's so much that you could be doing. There's so much money you could be making. But now the question is, with all that you're trying to do and all that you're doing now, what is the why to get you to the finish line? Because I know you can start.
My phone is freezing, so I don't know if you can hear me, but my why is my children, and also, like you were saying, with legacy, and I guess that kind of includes my children as well, but that's what I want to do it for. That's why I'm doing it, and it's to put it in to, like I was saying, the lack mindset. Sometimes, you know, if we are our children's first teachers, and if they see me working hard and still being broke, and if they see me worrying about bills, and they that's going to become their norm, and I don't want that to be, you know, just like I'm coming out of a lack mind state, I want to make sure that everything after me doesn't go back into it.
Now, if you don't do this, what happens to them? What's on the other side of you not doing this?
They're gonna be working from check to check and applying for food stamps and all those things, you know, that we end up repeating, you know, or I'll say for me that I ended up repeating until I made a decision to make a change. And it does require a lot of accountability and responsibility, and reminding myself of my why. Just as we were talking, I was cleaning off my board to write my why so I can see it before me every day.
Well, good. Now, so if you don't do this, then you're saying that another mentality will keep being perpetrated or continue on because you didn't make the change. So
Right.
now, what's changed now that's going to make you stick to what you said and do what you said you was going to do?
Okay, now what you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. What changed now that's going to make you?
My screen is frozen.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
now I hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? So what has to change within you to make this come to pass?
And then it freezes again.
Oh, she froze again. All right.
Really quick, Coach Ron, sometimes if you turn your camera off, then Zoom will work for you.
Okay, let's do that.
So if she turns her camera off, she might be able to get the stability she needs.
Okay, turn that camera off. Let's go with that and see if that works. You know what? That's okay. Tell you what, Germany, we'll come back to you. Troy, I know you got the kids there, man, but I think you're feeling me on
Oh my
tonight.
gosh, it's just all black and I can
Oh, you can't? Okay, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We got Germany's. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate you. All right. Troy, where you at? I see you in there. I know you got the kids with you, man. I think you're feeling me on tonight. What are your thoughts, man? Where's your head at?
First off, to all who have given some type of content, like, thank you. You know, this for me is more so reflective. It's not to say that I'm the only one with that mindset, but it's refreshing to see different perspectives on expressing who they are and what they're about. For me personally, I kind of did this before. Well, babe, why not? Leave it alone. I wrote some things down before. You know. But I'll share. My why. It started off with a promise to my mother on my knee, my right knee, as she lay lifeless, that I will make her proud. It's also to pay respect and homage to my ancestors. A lot of this, again, it just goes into expression, that why, asking why. I do not want my actions degrading any actions or dreams of progression they attempted to establish before me. All struggle experience was not for nothing. And that part right there for me was like explanation. As I say, you know, there's a reason why you're even struggling right now, right? It's part of the process. Actively show and remind my people that we are more than a negative connotation. For example, pimps, drug dealers, and abusers, and hold a higher value to the world than being an athlete and/or entertainer. I will move forward with my ability, mantling the light of purpose, reminding all and solving and showing the seed into the next generation. So this last part is more so living myself, but showing, you know, what I do for a living is more so my actions. I can talk it all day, but my actions really have to show it. So in everything, I'm just living my truth. What else? Setting the bar higher for my legacy. We all talking about legacy, and specifically my kids, you know, being after me, I'm setting that bar much higher than what it was before. And I'm taking great pride in that. I want to be able to separate that line of mediocrity to excellence, and my mind so focusing on Black excellence. I want to see more of it. I want to position my bloodline with leverage for generations to come to be more of a positive factor in the world. And this is more just perspective. I wrote, if struggle is part of life, why not make it worth an experience greater than the negative circumstances? I refuse for my level of life achieved to be it. Like, we have to continue. I want to continue to strive. It's not just I reached a certain plateau and that be it. Like I said again, I have young ones under me, my seed. I'm raising them. I'm not playing. I'm raising the bar. So the last piece is I was raised to know my potential is greater than what this world will project onto me. So, you know, of course, when you watching media, not even knowing that you're being groomed and primed for, you know, certain comprehensions, I'm like, excuse my language, F that, you know, I'm a rebel to that. And I'm actively, like I said, I'm just living my truth. I'm showing you what you said, I'm only this much for, I'm kicking that door wide open. That's pretty much it. It's kind of unorthodox, but that's it right there for me.
It's powerful, man. That's powerful. And here, thank you so much for sharing, Troy. I appreciate that, man. It's to the point to where, guys, that why, I need you to keep digging, because you'll get to a point where that why will hit you. And I'm telling you, I don't know what it is for me, but my why is my integrity. I mean, I don't want to be a person that lives a fake and phony life, that's telling folk to do all this stuff and ain't chasing what I said I was going to do. You know, and I think for all of us, it is old school, I know, but integrity, man, it means a lot. You know, it used to be a day to where a man's handshake was his bond. Now people say a whole lot of stuff, but they don't complete or finish what they said. And I believe because of that, we've got a lot of children that don't finish because the parents didn't finish. They sold a lot of pipe dreams on what they was gonna do and ended up broke, busted. And now that we're seeing, meaning I can say this to you guys, because you're seeing the next generation that was ahead of us, how a lot of these guys are falling to the wayside and they're just, I mean, what they thought was gonna be their end is totally different. You know, they might be okay, but their okay is struggling. Their okay is they can't go but so much because they're on a fixed income. Their okay is, well, I could maybe see you next week, but I can't see you this week because I got to make sure I save my dollars. Who wants to live like that at 60, 65? Who wants to be at such a place to where you're begging for your wants and your needs? So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to bring this to you tonight. I know this was a little heavy. I wanted it to be, because I want to reaffirm this thing. I don't want you to get slack on what you said you was going to accomplish this year. And I promise you, I'm probably going to reaffirm you a couple more times this year because I want to make sure you stay the course. Matter of fact, I want to make sure it's so in you that when you think about faltering, something snaps in you and says, nah, I can't. You know, I got a saying within one of my nonprofits that people are dying. And so while you're making a decision to make and be something, people are dying. That's heavy. Think about this. While you're trying to figure it out, people are dying. And a generation is being lost because we won't do what we said we would do. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I hope you got something that's going to reaffirm, that's going to really rock you. Yes, rock you a little bit to where now you can say, you know what? I can't slip. I can't get to where I get back to where I was. So thank you so much for participating in that, guys. I appreciate it. Because I truly do believe if your why don't make you cry, it ain't strong enough. Your why ought to get to the point to where when you start talking about it, you get so passionate, you get so wrapped up in it. And some of you, I didn't get there tonight, but I want you to get there. What is that thing that to where if we go a little deeper, a couple more layers, it would break you down? Like I cannot afford to lose. Almost to where I cannot afford to lose. Too many people would be lost if I don't make it. And yes, you are the one that's chosen to do it. But just because you're chosen doesn't mean you'll finish. Because many are called, but few are chosen. Conversation around the information, I think we've done that already. I don't want to go back through it. I know our time is spent. We got like 5 minutes. Accountability, guys, close the gap. I'm telling you, I think for a lot of you guys now, this accountability is going to help you finish this year. You're hanging with me this year, you will accomplish the thing that you set forward. I'm going to keep pressing. I'm going to keep bringing you more content, bringing you more stuff to make you think, make you kind of go a little deeper to where now, whatever you said you're going to do, let's hold on to that thing. Of course, my biggest thing, don't go alone. And good news is with this group, you won't have to. How can I help you? I know you guys are like, man, this guy's always pushing stuff. The great news is in 24 years, I've established enough to where all these things you see, we can now help you do. And this is important because now results driven is not just a slogan, is what we do. Those that missed Saturday's event, it was phenomenal. We had some great material, some great stuff. And I tell you what, a whole lot of folk gonna be buying some more properties this year. A whole lot of folk gonna be doing some things that shift themselves and put themselves in position. And so now it's a matter now just keeping it pushing forward. All right. So the tools you got. I love what my girl said. You got the tools now. Now that you got the tools, you got to make it happen. All right. Troy, I'm gonna come to you. I see your hand raised. Value exchange, you know the deal. All right, guys. It cost me something I'll never get back from you. Time. And the reason I do what I do in this group is not because I need those $99. That ain't the reason. Because some of you that, well, all you that know me know I'm good. But it shows commitment, and it also makes you now be accountable. If you're a coach or going to be coaching somebody, you got to be a coach that does what you say. If you're telling other people to pay for your coaching, but you ain't being coached, I'm going to challenge you on that. I'm going to call you on that. Because now I can tell you I paid thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to be coached. I paid $10,000 just to go find out about apartments, and it was well worth it. Now I'm ready. Just a matter of waiting on the opportunity. All right. Now, with that being said, Troy, you had a question. You had your hand up, man. I want to miss your questions on tonight.
I missed that that seminar you just had on the 29th, I believe. Did you have a recording?
Just parts of it. We didn't get all of it, but definitely the parts that I have, I'll text over to you. Yeah, they're kind of raw and uncut, but there will be some material there. We do have another one coming up for the month of February. I had a little glitch in the system, so I'm going to adjust the date. So I will let you guys know by next Thursday, but it'll be a Saturday event. And I'm going to be dealing with, actually, we're going to be dealing with tax strategies. Because a lot of you guys, I need you to start planning on this side of the year where you need to be at the end of the year when it comes to taxes. You don't want to put I promise you, my millionaire coach, he said the biggest thing he ever did was owing the IRS $400,000 because he didn't take care of the tax situation. You should start planning now, especially those of you that are straight entrepreneurs and your actual business is who you are right now. I need to make sure you're in position to make sure by the end of the year, your business is either showing a profit, depending on what you're trying to do, or you can go tax-free. But if you go tax-free with your business, just know that it's going to be hard to show income. So we're going to talk about that. Some of you, I'm going to challenge you this year. This might be your last year working for the man. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying, some of you, you're going to walk away this year and you're going to be like, what? Hey, if I did it with a high school diploma and 8 months of high quality community college, I know for sure that you can do it. All right. I have confidence in you. I believe you can do anything you put your mind to. Stay the course, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you're going to be great. This is going to be your greatest year ever. You're going to see divine acceleration in everything that you're doing. I'm looking forward to, I'm actually in my mind, I'm looking forward to December because I want to see what you accomplish this year. I want to see from what we've written down, I want to see what you actually did this year. And I want to hear about the dollars too. I need my $100,000 club, my six-figure club to be on fire. I need my $250,000 club to be on fire this year. Because the more and more you guys are blessed and the more and more you guys do well, that's going to help me help even more people. I believe that you guys are going to help me. I want to help 1 million people. And I believe each one of you is going to help thousands. And those thousands are going to help us all reach the goal of what we're trying to accomplish, to help millions. That's right. I said millions. I ain't scared of y'all. I'm looking to help millions. I want to help millions, but I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to empower you. I'm going to pour into you. I'm going to give you everything I got. That's my passion. I'm going to give you everything I've got for you to be successful. I promise you. You just don't even know how bad I want you to succeed. I want you to tear the roof off. I want your families to be blessed. I want this to be a game-changing year for you. All right? All right, guys. Any other questions? Other than that, I'm going to go and sign off. I don't want to hold you guys hostage without a gun. Sharia, what'd you get on tonight? I know she's sitting kind of cooking and making it work, but you stayed and hung out with us. Quick nugget, what'd you get?
First of all, I'm happy I got to work out tomorrow because I was tearing these raisins up. Boy, I'm sorry. I feel so sad eating the raisins in front of y'all, but y'all, I'm hungry. But I just want to say thank you, group. It's always a pleasure fellowshipping with everyone. What I got from tonight is always know your why. Always re-examine your goals every day. That's important, that you see your vision so that you could implement it. When you don't see it no more, it's going to be hard to implement because then you're going to put other things before that. So I just want to tell you guys, be encouraged. Even if it's a little inch of a step, it was still forward movement. I see that you guys are having forward movement. We all are, and that is a beautiful thing. Keep that momentum going. Don't let it drop. And if you do, know that you have people to encourage you. So don't forget that you have numbers. You guys could call me, text me. I answer. I send you a win today message if need be. But learn to rely on people who are positive and that you know is going to help you move forward. And you guys keep winning because, you know, by summertime, we all going to be bankhead bouncing up in here. You feel me? And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you guys' businesses at Lavish, and I could come and support it. So you guys keep up the good work.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheree. I appreciate that, girl. You always the encourager. Robbie, what you got? What you got? What you get tonight?
I guess I guess it would be, it might not look like what you want it to look like now, but don't stop, keep moving forward because it's still, the goal is still there.
That's good. That's good. And that's the quick. Guys, you only lose if you quit. You only lose if you quit. And I don't believe there's no quitters on here tonight. I believe there's getters. And you're going to live your best life. I speak it into you. This will be your greatest year ever. You're shifting and you're becoming the greatest you that you've ever known. And watch this thing happen, guys. I'm already in December. Some of you, I'm excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to looking and saying, look, let's go through this list again. What did we try to do? Oh, that's what we did. We did that too. That's what I'm talking about. Results driven, guys. All right. Love you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you guys soon. Have a great week.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Oh, man. My pleasure. Bless you guys.
Thank you, Lady Glow. Good night, everyone.